It was clear from the release of the video that it wasn't released in a manner of transparency because my son, the one that was in question, wasn't shown in the video until 50 minutes into the video. But you showed the narrative of the other teenager first, where he was treated with dignity and he was treated with respect, and he was told that he was being detained. At 56 minutes into the video, your officer says 1095 times 2. And according to my research, that means 2 people were being arrested, not detained. Now, up until this point, of the releases that have been made by Fuquay-Varina Police Department, it said that my son was detained. Now, according to the video, the actions taken by the officers, my son was arrested. I must ask, how can you arrest someone, Fuquay-Varina Police Department, before there was ever an investigation? Your officer clearly states that on the video. I heard it was a 1095 before I verified the VIN number. So if that is the case, is that good policing? Is that policy? Is that what we do in this town? But when you realized things went wrong, you tried to fix it by saying that he was in the back of the police car because of safety. Well, please, Fuquay-Varina Police Department, tell me what made my son scary to you. Why was it a safety issue? You say that it was not race. Was it the sweatshirt? Was it his words? Because my son acted appropriately. So please tell me what made you afraid. And then when you realized that you could not arrest a 14-year-old child, you changed the story, hoping that no one would know. Do not try to cover up what your department done, because I can't cover up the trauma that my family has had to deal with.
See, the problem here is the same problem that we have across law enforcement agencies, not just in North Carolina, but across the country. And that is one of accountability. Make no mistake, the officer that kneeled on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes didn't start breaking the rules then. I am sure he started with something small, like being allowed to make a decision clearly based on race and prejudices, to treat a young black man differently, not a man, a young black boy differently, to treat that black child differently than the white child. In essence, that is the problem. That is the elephant in the room, and that is what we are talking about here today. That is why we will keep fighting, and that is why we will keep pushing. Because this, what we saw here, was about race. No matter whether we want to say it or not, it is true. And in Fuquay-Varina's attempt to skew the narrative by placing Malcolm's and the training officer's video deep into the 2 hours, further exacerbated and outlined and highlighted the difference between the way these 2 children were treated. And now we want to have Malcolm's dad is going to speak to you all a little bit.
Aside from the racism, we need to focus on the actual training of any officer, whether it be the Fuquay Police Department or any other city or town. Because clearly, this officer wasn't ready for the situation that he was in. And we as citizens don't sign off on him to come to our houses to protect us. I've spoken to some of the police officers at Fuquay. There's not many black ones. So even with the training, whether they want to call it sensitivity training, racial training, whatever, how are they going to get the knowledge to train the correct way without the proper representation? I can't change what happened to my son, but hopefully we can prevent it happening to another child. Thank you.
And again, what you heard from Mr. Ziglar.